All right, friends. Another educational webinar along with Team ICCL. In fact, post-COVID, this has become a very interesting way of connecting for BBF to connect with its members. And this is another educational webinar on clearing and settlement we are having in conjunction with ICCL, probably the third in a row. Thank you very much. Today is again, this is not a compliance webinar. Thank you very much. This is more an education operational learning webinar. And we have certain topics that we are covering today. We have settlement processes from CC point of view, ICCL as a CC point of view, settlement processes, overview, modification of CP codes, early paying process overview, just figure out what you're doing right. Was there a better way of doing things? The standard UDI files, an extranet, which you get on T-Day, T1 day. And a very interesting topic, which I found very fascinating myself, is overview of APIs at ICCL. As MI ICCL gives various API, it is like if you are using ICCL system and you're saying I have a Mercedes, but I want to drive it in the first gear. That's really a sad state of affairs. So let's find out what are the features of the vehicle and how we can use it better and make our systems and process better. The standard BBF format will have a presentation from the MI officials, followed by Q&A. Q&A is a standard, raise your electronic hand, will turn on your mic. Be nice and courteous to our speakers, but that's about it. Over to Team ICCL.
Sure. Thank you so much, Uttam sir. First of all, good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to today's webinar on behalf of Team ICCL. So today, as rightly pointed by sir, this is an ongoing member education initiative where, in association with BBF, we are doing this webinar for our members on settlement process at ICCL. So again, the flow will be the same where team ICCL will present the PPT, and then in the end, we have kept a dedicated Q&A session where members are encouraged to raise hands and ask their queries one by one. Now, before we begin, I would like to introduce you to team ICCL who will be taking the presentation in the Q&A session. So with me, I have Mrs. Vijeta Gurav. She is from the projects and development team. From settlement, we have Mr. Tejinder Virdi, Mr. Ashish Goyal, and Mr. Omkar Hatkar, Mr. Manoj Panchal. From the collateral team, we have Ms. Maitri Sheth, and from the membership team, we have Mr. Praveen Pujari to help us. Last, from business team, we have Ms. Nanda Parekh and I, Mr. Rahul Agarwal, who will be there supporting you throughout the session. So I won't take much of your time. I would request Vijita ma'am if you could share. I will just share my screen just a second.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Is the screen visible to you all? Can I get...
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much. First of all, thank you to all our members for joining us. Thank you, Uttam sir, BBF team, for navigating this webinar series. This is one of the webinar series and many more to come. And BBF team has always been supportive, in advocating this to for market education. So today's today's webinar series, okay, the tutorials which we have been having on this webinar series. So today's webinar series is focusing on equity cash clearing and settlement. Basically, the ops team is going to give you a walkthrough. And towards the end, we have an overall overview of the APIs, which an insight from our end, which we are going to give it to you. So basically, this today's topic, everyone, whoever is there online, all our members, everyone is experts, all are experts in this field. So today's session is not something where we are going to tell you something new. Everyone is aware about all the rules, bylaws, the rule book, everyone is aware. We are just finding this kind of, occasion to have interactions with you, to understand that in this entire trade to final settlement life cycle, what practical challenges you are facing, what are your pain areas, and certain some feedback which we would also like to hear from you, and certain insights from our end too, which we would structure in today's presentations. So the Q&A with respect to the entire, so the agenda, we are going to progress in such a way that Mr. Tajinder and Ashish will give an overview of the entire life cycle of the equity cash along with various process modalities, followed by a Q&A round. And maybe at the end, I would step in to give you a gist of the overview of all the APIs which ICCL is having currently and the upcoming APIs which we all feel that you all should take maximum usage of this towards moving towards operational efficiency. So with this, I open the floor to Mr. Tajinder and Ashish to take you all through the equity cycle.
Hi, Vijita. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. So this is basically a trade life cycle. What we have, on the T and the T+1 settlement process, they entirely happens. This is with respect to the retail trades as well as for the CP trades. So on the T day, normal the trading hours, it's open for all the trading members so that they can do a trade. And once the trade has been done till 3:30, this is basically we are talking about the trade execution done by the broker, post which the CC takes a download from the respective exchanges. So after that, there is a process which is done at the CC end, and then the trade files are disseminated to the members. Post 3:30, we do that. And in case if there is any modification time which is allowed for the members, that is done for the client UCC trade as well as for the CP trades. Now there's a CP trade which happens, the modification is happened till 4:15, and post which the exchange of trades happen within the CCs. And after that, there is a window which has been open for the custodians to confirm the trade. And between which you also have an option wherein if you have punch a trade for INST and if you have to allocate certain trades for those INST clients, you can certainly do that till 8 p.m. So the confirmation deadline for the CP trades which are marginable is 7:30, and we have a confirmation extended in case if there is any particular requirement for a particular custodian or a particular member. However, this is there till T+1 7:30 morning also. And post once the confirmation window is closed, we send a provisional files to all the members as well as the custodians so that they are aware of the obligation and the margin requirement, what is there to be fulfilled on the T date. So once the T date has been completed, we move on to the T+1 the early morning, wherein we have a 7:30 is a deadline for the non-institutional clients, for the non-marginable clients. So that is till 7:30, post which if a custodian approves a trade, that is moved to the custodian bucket, the obligation moves to the custodian. And if it has been devolved or it has not been confirmed by the custodian for a particular reason, this has been taken care by the member itself. So post 7:30, we send a revised obligation to all. That's a final obligation, what we call it as, to all the members at around 9, so that they are aware of what is to be delivered by 10:50. So once this has been done, but the paying is 10 at 10:30. Post which we receive the paying obligation files from the depositories. We do the matching at our end. Once the paying is received, the payout has been delivered by 3:30 to the clients. Now for paying deadline is at 10:30 and the payout is 3:30
PM.
3:30 p.m. for funds and securities.
We can move this.
So basically, post the settlement, in case if there is an auction which is to be conducted for the members who have done a paying short, we conduct an auction on the same day. And once we receive the confirmation from the respective exchanges, that has been disseminated to the member, and T+2 the auction settlement has been done. We move to the next slide. This is the concept of the early pain, which is required probably, as everyone know, the early pain has been done to avoid margin in case of a trade which has been taken up by the member. So there is a block mechanism which has been brought up by the depositories, wherein the stock is blocked in the client account and the early pain has been done from that particular account. The reason to do this is probably to handle the corporate actions which has to be taken care, so that the effect or the benefit is to be given to the member itself who is holding that stock. So once the early pain has been marked, the trade has been executed to avoid margin. The early pain has been received by the CC. Till next day morning, this early pain is already marked by the depository. Once the pain has been run, the early paying account is debited and this stock is moved to the CC pool account, through which the depository sends us the pay-in for that particular member. Now the point was about the matched orders, what we're talking about. As I said, whichever is matched as per the obligation that has been debited, the client account has been debited and the stock is moved to the CC. And unblocking of securities is something which we are talking about. If a particular trade is been executed and there is an excess early payment done, the matching has been done for that particular trade, and then reversal of those stock has been done in that client account itself. So the whole process initially, wherein the client account is blocked and then the same has been released, the excess stock has been released post matching the obligation, is all done through the automated system in our back office system. Depository file has been released, and this file, once the file has been released in the depository, unblocking has been done on the same day, T-day evening, and post which we send a file to the members also, so that they can check if there is any excess early pay they have received in their same account or not, or probably we can also check if they are supposed to do a trade and if the early pay is not been done, the reversal has been done to their account, so that they can keep a track and do a next day pay-in has been taken care for that particular stock if the early pay is not accepted for a particular scenario in that case. The key benefits for this early pay is basically, as I said, to avoid margin, the risk, what we're talking about, the risk of trades getting devolved and all, and the settlement process is seamless in that case.
So, PJ, before we move to the next slide, so here, would you like to, throw some insights like in this particular process, certain areas where members, are like any kind of some errors or mistakes that we are,
Not probably
getting
errors.
in the daily process, which we would like to, kind of alert.
We as a CC, we would like to highlight only one thing. Members should keep a track of the reversal files which we send to the members, so that they can keep a track of their obligation, which is oftenly missed by the members. When a stock, they expect that the early pay is done, that is accepted by the CC, but due to a particular reason, if the stock has been reversed to their account, they need to make sure that at the end of the day, when the CC sends an early pay reversal file, they can check and they can act accordingly for the next day obligation. That is one of the observations which we have for a particular member.
Okay. And here I would also like to, share one development which we had in early phase. That is, we have enabled API with the depositories. So to have real-time early paying of transactions. So initially there was a TAT of 15 or 20 minutes. So now that is near to real time. So that is one progress which we recently made with both the depositories, and members should be, getting those benefits as well. Yeah, we can move to the next slide.
This is the auction process, the flow, what we're talking about, as in if a member is supposed to do a pay and if he missed on a particular pay, the auction process is conducted in the afternoon by a respective exchange for a particular script. If it is the exclusive script, then we get it done from the respective exchange. So once we do the auction, we get the confirmation from the exchanges that are the members who has participated for the auction, the bid has been confirmed for them. So once that has been done on the T+2, we do a auction pay-in payout for the process. So here what we are trying to say is when the short delivery has been triggered by the seller, the auction process is conducted on T+1 and the settlement is done on the T+2. As everyone is aware of the closeout, which has been the higher market price, which has been prescribed 20% for the normal script. If it is a corporate action, it is a 10% for those scripts, and government securities in the bonds, that's 5% of the higher price. The rest, in case if just wanted to highlight one thing, wherein if a particular price, say if a member is bid in an auction market, and if he gets an auction price which is lower than the actual higher price, comparing the price, and if there is a difference in that price, that has been that amount has been transferred to the core SGF, and the remaining amount has been, the difference amount has been paid to the buyer in that case. I'll just move to the next slide. Probably this is the DVP hand delivery trades. What we're talking about, this is more of the institutional clients, wherein a custodian confirms the trades and rejects the trades. What we're talking about on T-date as well as post 7:30 and T+1. So whenever a custodian does not confirms a trade, those trades are devolved to a member, and member is supposed to meet that obligation for a particular CP client. Now, custodians can reject on an international audits, as everyone is aware. Whenever a custodian rejects a trade, he marks a particular holiday, and then so that the DVP charges are not being levied to the members, whosoever is taking a trade for that institutional client. DVP hand delivery settlement process will be the same, which wherein the process is something wherein if the member is supposed to deliver a stock to us, member will have to take a stock from the custodian and then deliver it to us, and then we do a funds payout, and in return that funds will be given it to the member, or he can, if it is taking it from the custodian. So in that case, that has to be managed there. In case of a RVP trade which is getting devolved, the process is vice versa in that case. The funds is to be arranged by the member, and then once we deliver the stock has been delivered to the custodian. The hand delivery, the last point what we're talking about, the hand delivery bargain, that's a delivery charges and margin penalties which we are talking about. In case of a trade has been converted, for the DVP, as everyone is aware, the 10,000 of the 0.01% of the settlement amount which has been charged. Or the margin point, what we're talking about, the reporting, which we have observed one thing in most of the cases, whenever a trade has been devolved or is converted to a hand delivery, the peak margin is basically on the CP, and end of the day margin is also on the CP. So the reporting has to be done accordingly for that particular case, because we are getting a lot of queries how the reporting has to be taken care. It has to be done in own or in the CP. I'll move on to the next slide. This is the very generic question which we are getting from a lot of the members for the CP code modification point. First, we'll just cover the types of modifications which are allowed. A particular CP to CP modification is allowed, CP to INST is allowed, and CP code to a client code is also allowed. From INST to CP code is also allowed, and INST to client. Now, there is something which we are not talking about, is the error code movement. So basically, certainly we can do that also, but however, we need to ensure one point very importantly, whenever we have to do a modification, first at the client level, that is to be taken care by the respective exchange. The member has to make sure wherever he is executed a trade, client code modification will be happen over there. And if it's a CP modification, post the client code modification, he can come to a CC till 415 and do that modification.
You want to highlight any such use case, like in generic, like where we get those last minute calls and then the
We-
hush posh happens.
We get calls only for most of the times we get calls from moving a client code to error code, wherein what we have observed, a member is aware of the trade has been done on a particular exchange, but he's coming to a CC and asking for the modification. So first protocol what they need to have is they go to the exchange, they move that client code, then they come to a CC, and then they modify that CP code to client, and then the UCC code has to be changed from client to error. And then once the UCC code has been changed, then they can do the modification in the CP. From the CP, they have to remove that in the window which has been shown here, the CP code modification. They have to go and look out for that trade and remove that CP code and put as client. So once that has been done, this will be taken care. This is one of the queries which have been oftenly coming from the members.
So basically, members, everyone have to be mindful about the set timelines which we have stipulated to cover each of the processes.
Right.
Hmm.
You just come on to the next slide. It's margining of the trade. Probably I'll hand over it to Ashish Goel, who will take care for the margining of trades.
So you can speak from that side.
Good afternoon, everyone. First, I would like to welcome you all. Again, margining the hot topic with us. Everybody knows those were the trades, the days where upfront margin was not required in equity segment. Now the SEBI when come up with this requirement of 20% margin upfront, for every client. Like in derivatives, earlier today we used to have upfront margin. So now equity, SEBI has already again introduced that margin where we have to kept at least 20% margin upfront for every trade, whatever client, whatever he's buying or whatever he's selling. Although selling के case में we do early pay-in when client wants to sell delivery. Otherwise, in case if we want to do intraday, so at least we should have 20% upfront margin with us. So in this slide, if you'll see, because all are market people out here, so I will not get into detail of what is where or what is ELM or what is MTM. We all are aware about that. So the question is because abhi nowadays from last when SEBI has introduced this 4 snapshot for margining, so we have to ensure that we as a CC give 4 snapshot during the market hours, and as a member or we need to ensure that client should definitely with give us that initial margin with us, so that उस snapshots के अंदर अगर वो short आएगा तो फिर definitely it could be again penalty could be levied to that client. तो we have to ensure कि हमें 20% margin वो लेके चलना है before the trade. So it is very important कि before trade we should have that margin with us. तो आज की डेट में तो डेफिनेटली इट इज ऑल्सो अवेलेबल इन द सर्कुलर एज वेल. वी कैन शो दैट सर्कुलर्स टू द क्लाइंट ऑल्सो कि दिस इज नॉट द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ अ मेंबर, दिस इज रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द सेबी. तो दिस इज अ सेबी रिक्वायरमेंट. कई बार क्लाइंट झगड़ा करते हैं, अरे नहीं यार मैं मतलब फंड्स इज देयर विद यू, आई एम योर, मैं तुम्हारा 10 साल से पुराना क्लाइंट हूँ एंड एवरीथिंग. So it's better कि if the client is not able to understand, we can show these circulars which is available at the website of the SEBI. Although we have already for ease we have given the circular details below, so that you can go through that circulars and you can show that circular to the client also. So while doing trades, yes, we should have 20% upfront margin with us, and we have to ensure that during the day 4 snapshots आपको आते हैं तो उससे पहले वो मार्जिन आपका अवेलेबल रहना चाहिए उस क्लाइंट का. और उसके अलावा डेफिनेटली इन दिस स्लाइड आई हैव शोन यू जो मार्जिन का पेनल्टी कैसे लगता है. ये भी बहुत क्वेरीज बेसिकली फ्रिक्वेंटली आती हैं कि मेरा क्लाइंट को पेनल्टी लग गया. तो कई लोग सोचते हैं कि अगर मैंने स्नैपशॉट को मैनेज कर लिया तो मेरा मार्जिन अकाउंट फॉर हो गया, अभी मुझे कुछ करने का जरूरत नहीं है. बट इफ विल सी there is a EOD margin as well and there is a peak margin as well. So we have to ensure that both margin liability could met. वी हैव टू इंश्योर कि ईओडी मार्जिन भी मेरा रिपोर्ट होगा तो वो भी मेरा फुलफिल होना चाहिए और पीक मार्जिन भी मेरा पूरा होना चाहिए, बिकॉज द पेनल्टी विल डिवाइड हायर ऑफ द शॉर्टेज इन दैट. सो वी हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल. आई हैव सीन द मैनी क्वेरीज एज वेल वेयर मेंबर सेट की क्लाइंट ने ईओडी मार्जिन तो मेंटेन किया है बट उसका पीक मार्जिन मेंटेन नहीं हुआ, तो वो पेनल्टी क्यों लगा इसको. तो वो मुझे बताना पड़ता है और हमें बताना पड़ता है कि सर देखो आपने ईओडी तो मेंटेन किया, इट्स वेरी गुड, बट पीक स्नैपशॉट्स में इट वाज नॉट देयर. तो वी हैव टू इंश्योर बोथ द थिंग्स so that client should not be penalized. Again, our aim should be कि market के अंदर वो information जानी चाहिए, because we are the people who are giving information to the market. So as a member, my duty is to give that information to the client, because we are getting that information from the SEBI or from CC, and so that we can communicate to our client and our client should get updated, because our aim is कि उसका unnecessary उसको penalty ना लगे. So that is more important, which is good for the market as well. तो ये मार्जिनिंग ऑफ ट्रेड्स में वी हैव टू इंश्योर, अगेन मैं दोबारा बोलूंगा कि 20% मार्जिन वी शुड कैप अप फ्रंट. 4 snapshot इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड ऑफ द डे मार्जिन इज ऑल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. वी हैव टू चेक पीक मार्जिन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. तो वो सब कुछ अपने, और सबसे बड़ी चीज कम्युनिकेशन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. वी हैव टू कम्युनिकेट द क्लाइंट की सर पेनल्टी का ये रूल है, दैट सर्कुलर इज देयर, यू कैन शेयर दिस सर्कुलर विद योर क्लाइंट ऑल्सो. तो नाउ आई एम गोइंग टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. Again, penalty. So there is a when there is a shortage of 3 consecutive days for any client during the consecutive days means it is not month to month, it is consecutive days. मीन्स अगर 31 को शॉर्ट हुआ और 1 को शॉर्ट हुआ और 2 को शॉर्ट हुआ तो दैट विल बी कंसिडर्ड एज ए कंसेक्यूटिव डेज. तो अगर 3 दिन में शॉर्ट होता है तो 5% पेनल्टी चार्ज होती है. अदरवाइज इन केस इफ देयर इज ए 1 लाख से नीचे शॉर्टेज है तो 0.5, एंड दैट इज देयर ऑलमोस्ट एवरी मेंबर इज ऑल्सो अवेयर अबाउट दैट, बट दैट क्लाइंट शुड ऑल्सो अवेयर अबाउट दिस. कई बार क्या होता है कि क्लाइंट को पेनल्टी लगता है, क्लाइंट पूछता है कि यार ये पेनल्टी कैसे लगा, बिकॉज क्लाइंट इज नॉट अवेयर अबाउट दिस पेनल्टीज. तो आवर एम इज टू टेल टू क्लाइंट एज वेल कि ये पेनल्टी चार्ज ऐसा है, सो दैट उसको भी रहेगा कि यस ही विल बी नाउ अवेयर कि ही हैज टू मेक fulfill entire obligation or the margin requirement of any trade which he is doing in the market. So that is very important. So we have given the relevant information which is required to maintain the margin. If somebody again उस चीज को नहीं fulfill करता है, तो definitely there is a penalty provision. He will be penalized. So that detail is there in front of you. We have given that circular details as well, when this penalty when introduced and how it will charge. In case of definitely derivatives के अंदर, yes, there is a point कि अगर 3% का movement होता है, तो अगर आपका T+2 तक कंटिन्यू रहती है वो शॉर्टेज, देन यू विल बी पेनलाइज इन केस ऑफ डेरिवेटिव्स और करेंसी डेरिवेटिव्स इज अवेलेबल, बट इक्विटी में ऐसा कोई प्रोविजन नहीं है 3%. So now I move to the next slide.
Just to add to Ashish's slide, on this monitoring of this margin reporting, members are being sent alerts on
Yes.
daily basis if any reporting is pending and everything. So,
Extranet पे we are definitely sending every file. Everybody is aware about the margin files, DM debt files. There are a lot of files we are giving where you can check the margin shortage of the client. And definitely margin snapshot is the real-time snapshot where you can check the shortage of the client as well. So that relevant files are available. But in case if somebody have any further discussion or further query about this, so we are always available. Anytime you can call us, you can connect us. We are there with you to make this understand the whole process of the margin, whole process of the trades. Everything is there. So in next slide, we have covered the timings, which is very important because these timings are definitely guided by the SEBI. We are also under regulated SEBI. Whatever SEBI regulate, we also make that systems and circulate among the members or in the market, so that everybody should aware about that. So here this slide is just for information purpose only. I know everybody about the timings of the pay-in timing, payout timings, and auction timings, which is already there in the market. But to compile all timings at one slide so that it will help everybody to check, or you can take the printout of that and keep paste it in front of you so that you cannot also miss the pay and payout timings, which is very important. So this is just for the information purpose only. There is nothing to detail about it. It is already there. When the early pay-in timings is till 9 p.m. is there, which is very important. So these we all have to adhere these timelines. So that, and definitely clients should also communicate it about these timelines as well. So I move to the next slide. So these are files basically we generally send, we receive a lot of queries about the files also regarding the trade BSc file is where the trade executed at BSc only. So we have received many queries ki trade BSc के अंदर the trade is not reflecting, but trade for the trade which NSC you have done at NSC level is reflecting in the trade ICCL file. But for BSc, the trade executed at that BSc exchange only, the trade will reflect in BSc file only. So I would recommend everybody to follow the trade underscore ICCL file, which considered entire trades, whether it is in NSC also. So I would advise everybody ki kindly go follow the trade underscore ICCL file, or kindly use the trade underscore ICCL file. Delivery file is again where you have idea of the securities which is shortage you will get from the delivery file. Delivery DPO file again you have idea the stocks which is not going into pool after direct PO delivery. DPO file has introduced where we are giving credit to the direct client account of the payout. So in case if the client account is invalid, so the shares will directly transfer to the members pool account. So delivery DPO file again, it is a UD format. It is available at extranet. Auction file, margin files, DM debt files. So there are a lot of many files which is there. If in case if somebody have any query regarding any such file, you can connect to us. We can give you the entire details. Although these details are available at ICCL website as well. If you'll see, there are formats available for every file where you can check every headers and all everything. If somebody have any query regarding any file, but we are available and we are very happy to answer your queries. So these are the, again, we have compiled, make this slide to compile all the files at one go so that everybody can have idea that these are the files basically which you can use on daily basis, or which will give you the information on daily basis. Yes, T+1 day we give STD file. On T day we give the provisional file, but T+1 day file, I would recommend everybody to refer T plus 1 day file, STT file, which is very important because CP trades confirm it in the morning. So these files we generate after getting confirmation of CP trades. So obligation and STT file is very important. I would recommend everybody should refer T plus 1 day file, which we disseminate before 9 a.m. in the morning. So again, this file definitely will give you the entire detail of the trades which you've been done on T day. So now I'll move to the next slide. This is basically again the development which we are doing, and ICCL definitely is giving the ease of doing business to the members, and that is the initiatives which we have done. And now over to Vijeta will give some highlight about this.
Yeah, so basically, this is the gist of all our current and the upcoming APIs. I mean, if most of the members, at least 80% of our members know that this API is, I mean, it is, I would be really happy to know that. So, of the critical APIs, the ones which majorly 80% of you guys are using it, that is the collateral allocation and response API for real time around allocation which members provide to the clearing corporations, where you can give your UCC wise allocation, your transfers, and therein the response also, which is available to you on the extranet as well. So this is even for the rest 20% of the market which is currently not using this API. I would urge to the market to come and use this allocation API. In addition to this allocation API, we have a screen-based and a file-based information dissemination coming from the members to the clearing corporation. But I would urge members to come on board for the allocation APIs, because this is a real-time member dissemination to the CCs. And I think as our markets are growing, and in terms of process efficiency and all, this is one critical development and rollout from our end, and I would urge the participants to make use of it. In case for the members who are not able, who have not onboarded this API, and you want to facilitate this in UAT environment or anything, you have our support. You can get in touch with myself and Maitri Desai from collateral team, who would connect to you and give you guidance on this API. The next API, which, it was a request from your end on this two APIs, which was repledge APIs and early paying APIs. So we have got this enabled with the depositories, both CDSL and NSTL. So these are very much live, and with respect to pledge repledge API, right from 1 hour turnaround initial to 30 minutes. Now it is real time, or maybe at the most you can have a latency of 1-2 minutes. So that API is very much in live for the deposit. The release API is one of the upcoming APIs, and once that is live, we would give you an update on that shortly. So basically, we are testing it with the depositories end currently. Similar to early pain, as I reiterated in the earlier sessions, that early pain also we have made live with both CDSL and NSTL. And from 10 or 15-20 minutes, now we have moved to real-time benefits of this particular feature. Also, we have trade API. So most of the members have been using this OTD, which is akin to an API facility. So OTD basically is EXE, which was a traditional feature which was rolled out for both BSE and ICCL, and which all the members, both trading members as well as clearing members, were exhaustively using this trade API for real-time dissemination of trade data across equity, cash, and derivatives segment. So in addition to that OTD EXE feature, at ICCL's end, we had rolled out trade API. So that circular we had issued in October. So we have given the circular reference details. So again, so that is one of the API feature at the trade level, which we have rolled out for both trading members as well as clearing members. And just to give the market update, that in addition to this trade API, we are also working on a faster dissemination of trades, which is an advanced version. So that is through, we have integrated with Solace, and that Solace API is currently at UAT at our end. shortly we would be issuing a circular to the market, giving the product specifications. Then we would, we would coordinate with you all for integration of this APIs at our end for UAT testing, and then the production rollout. And this is going to be a very innovative feature wherein we are going to cut down the latency, and it is really going to be a real-time trade dissemination of data. We have kept the format in UDIF, but as we go ahead, whatever, if there are some fields which you would like to have, we welcome those suggestions to this. So in the circular, we would be stipulating all the necessary fields which we would be planning to give out in this trade API. Then another current major API which we have issued the circular, in fact, in 2023, which was the collateral margin API, where you get a real-time dissemination of collateral information of cash allocation, non-cash allocation, along with unallocated amount, plus the overall margin blocked. So in RTRMS at the front end, you are able to view it, but was the API integration where you have a real-time feed of this product parameters. So this also, the circular reference details have been mapped. People who are not using this API, you can, go through, you can ask your back office vendors to go through these specifications, and any integration, UAT testing, we just need your IPs to be integrated at our end. Post that UAT as well as prod cycle, we can test. So in addition to this API, when UPI block ASBA like model was launched in secondary market, so this API for block creation, release, inquiry. So this set of APIs were launched at that particular point of time. So though there is no much traction right now in this kind of functional, but considering the future state and everything, right now, if we have that much time to support the testing and all, and members who have not yet developed this, I would urge the member participants to go through this APIs. So this were at the member level APIs. So along with this, with our approved clearing banks, we have this EFDR API facility in addition to screen-based and web interface of EFDR confirmation. We have API facility with select banks, where real-time API information of EFDR from bank's core banking to ICCL, it facilitates to us. So this is, this process efficiency we are building at our end for your ease, from your operational ease perspective. And in the upcoming APIs, we are going to have a SLB trade API facility also in the SLBS segment. So that circular also we will be issuing in this week. Along with that, NESL API, we are going to formulate for EBG confirmations with the banks. So right now we are having with NESL, where PG confirmations are received through NESL platform. But in addition to that, for fast track of information, we are going to integrate API there as well. With respect to intraday peak and short allocation, right now you are getting the source files on your extranet system. So that we are working on, how we can roll out APIs to you, where you can get the peak information and the short allocation information to you on real-time basis, and even at the stipulated snapshot, instead of file, in addition to that file feature, we are going to give you an API to you. And also repledge API, we already have gone live with deposit. So release, as I stated earlier, it is at UAT with the depositories. So this is within, I think in a month's time, we will close that UAT. So within a month, we will roll it out in production. So once we roll it out, we will share update with you at that front. So this is the API ecosystem which we spoke, and in addition, in the pipeline we have many, but we are right now, leveraging on this for immediate phase 1 rollout. So other parallel which we are working, they are under development at our end. So once we get it near to UAT, we would be again another web series which we will have it schedule it. We can give a gist of this APIs at those particular session. In addition to this APIs, I would also like to highlight the members' attention. Like there is this extranet plus version also. So where you download, upload files on extranet through a login interface, there is an extranet plus exe where automatic download in your desired folder that files also should come with that exe. So that the ICCL and BSc help desk team, you can get in touch with them. They will help you in integrating this exe at your end. So from on the API front, that was the overview gist. So all these APIs basically they are configured on the basis of the member's IP. So you can get in touch with myself and Maitri for all these APIs. And this once you need to just share your API IP details. And once we configure the IP details for both UAT and production, we can integrate testing. So if for the people using it, if you have any feedback on this, we are welcome to hear that feedback. For people who are not using it, please go through the specifications along with your vendor. If in case you would like to have any close calls with the vendors, we are happy to support you at that front. So with this, we bring an end to our this webinar series of equity cash and overview of APIs. And thank you everyone for being with us. And I open the floor for questions and feedback from your end. Thank you. Do we have questions?
Thank you. Thank you so much, team, for the insightful session. I think we can open the floor for Q&A. Qureshi, if you could initiate the process.
We can go to this meeting.
Anyone who needs to ask a question, please raise your virtual hand so we'll allow you to talk. Yunus, can you please take it ahead?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Okay, so we have a first query from Mr. Tushar. Tushar ji, you may please unmute yourself and ask query. Tushar Naqvi ji, you may please ask a query. Okay, Mr. Kamal Kumar, you may please ask a query. Kamal ji, you may please unmute yourself. Shashi ji, your question, please.
Is it something like we are not able to hear or?
I think they are not able to unmute or something like that.
They can unmute from our side. We have enabled. I don't think.
Okay.
Okay.
Or else they can ask question on chat panel.
Tushar ji, can you try now?
They can write their question on chat.
See, I told you everyone are experts.
Okay, Mr. Lalit Kumar, you may please unmute yourself and ask query.
Yeah, hi, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. My first question is with Vijita madam. You mentioned that the early paying now is real time and it doesn't take 15 to 20 minutes as it used to. So my question is the API endpoints all same, or do we need to switch to a new API which does the
No.
allocation?
This API integration was between CCs and depositories.
Okay.
So you know that facilitation we have done at our end so that you get real-time benefits.
Okay. So our existing APIs would remain the same, just
Yeah,
that the benefit will get to
yes.
reflect very quickly.
Yes. So your
Okay,
existing.
sure. I'll observe this tomorrow and I'll see, because even I was under impression that it still takes 10 to 20 minutes.
No, it shouldn't. But if there is something, you please let us know. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so Tushar ji, If you can hear, you may please unmute yourself and ask a query. Shashi ji, you may ask a query now.
हेलो
Yes, I think, yeah, yes, ma'am, please.
हेलो
Yes, sir.
मिस्टर शशि बोल रहा हूँ इलेक्सर इक्विटीज से।
yes sir
Hello,
बोलिए
sir.
आपका आवाज आ रहा है?
हाँ
yes sir you're audible बोलिए ना सर
ओके, ये इलेक्सर ये जो ट्रेड फाइल आता है जो आईसीसीएल का, जो एनएससी और बीएससी का जो आता है, उसमें एनएससी का जो ट्रेड आता है उसमें टर्मिनल नंबर नहीं आता है।
सर, एनएससी का जो ट्रेड आता है उसमें टर्मिनल नहीं आता है, बिकॉज एनएससी जो सीसी को इंफॉर्मेशन दे रहा है उसी में वो टर्मिनल आईडी नहीं दे रहा है सर।
ओके, एक्चुअली
बीएससी बीएससी सीसी को टर्मिनल आईडी का इंफॉर्मेशन देता है, इसीलिए हम आपको दिखाते हैं। हमको जितना एक्सचेंज से मिलता है हम आपको सब डिस्प्ले करते हैं। एनएससी से बेसिकली टर्मिनल आईडी आफ्टर इंटर वो लोग नहीं दे रहे हैं, लेकिन वो एक्सचेंज अगर आपको कोई फाइल देता होगा ना तो उसमें वो शायद दे रहा होगा, बट एनएससी इज नॉट गिविंग दिस इंफॉर्मेशन टू सीसीज। That's why CC is not able to give you that terminal ID for NSE trade. If you see for BSE, you should be getting this information.
अगर ऐसा पर टर्मिनल नंबर दे सकते हैं ना एनएससी वाले, तो क्या हम लोग एक फाइल से हम लोग का सब ट्रेड हो सकता है रन?
सर, हम लोग ना एनएससी को आपका ये रिक्वेस्ट वी वुड पुट इट थ्रू, ओके, वी विल गेट इन टच विद एनएससी ऑन दिस, ओके।
ओके
या
ओके, थैंक यू मैडम, थैंक यू।
Okay, Mr. Harshad, you may ask your query, please.
Hello, am I audible?
yes sir you're audible
Hi. So when I do the early pay in for the security, why am I not given the full benefit or the margin benefit for the early pay in or the next day as well?
Early pain is early pain benefit is for that particular settlement only where for which you are doing trade. Suppose if you're like going to execute any trade today, so you will get the early pain benefit of the stocks which you are going. The no margin will be levied.
members queries on T+1 day, whatever early paying they are doing, that benefit, they are not getting it. So I think
Yes,
because
exactly
of the-
that.
yeah, so because of the timelines, Harshad, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Harshad, I think T+1 day because of the paying timelines.
Because pain deadline is in the morning. So if you'll do the early pain on T+1 day, right? So after completing the pain, you will get the benefit.
But Harshad, having said that, we note your point. Okay. So I will call you and we will update you on this. We are working on this to give benefits on T+1 day.
All right. Also, is there some delay for the allocation response files, especially during the late afternoon? Because suppose I'm uploading an allocation file at around 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, I get the response at 5 p.m.
And you are doing allocation through which mode? Is it API? Is it file screen based?
It's the manual file format through the ICCL file format, the allocation, which we do through the extranet.
Okay, so you're saying that there has been a delayed response delay during the peak hours.
Yes, so usually in the morning when we do it, it takes around 4 to 5 minutes. But if it's late afternoon and client has like given funds to us and we upload it at 3 p.m., don't get a response before 4 to 5 p.m.
Wow. So this you face every day or do you face this?
Honestly speaking, we do not get money in the upstream every day in the afternoon, but very recently, honestly, in the last 2 months, this has started where we don't get the response file immediately.
all right sir
Okay, we note down.
we have noted this down and we'll check it further sir
Oh, okay. And sorry, this one just last query. Where
Harshad,
do we get the broker-wide trades?
Harshad, before you move to the last query, so this particular recent instance of allocation, when did you face this?
For instance, yesterday, it's on Friday itself, we faced this problem.
Okay. Okay, fine. We will check this case and we will get back to you in person. Okay.
And one last query. Where do we get the broker-wide trades at 3:30?
We have a that's what said OTD or yes, no? OTD.
See, 3:30 we have this OTD facility, na? You can from ICCL's end, OTD we have trade API. So either of the two things you can just consume at your end, you'll get the dump of trade data.
It is API based?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Mr. Suraj, you may ask your query. Okay, so, we have another device, iPhone. You may ask your query.
Hello, can you hear
Yes,
me?
sir.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Mahesh here from Sushil Finance. On a daily basis, we are doing early pain of security after trade upload. So normally it is taking more than half an hour, maybe 1 hour. So as shown in your PPT that you are going to introduce the Plains Securities Release API. So can we expect that at a faster time going forward?
So once this API is enabled, Mahesh, this should solve the problem.
Okay. And just to mention, it is a app we really appreciate from the ICCL team. Like for example, in the last crisis, that is other depository had a problem. So it was a really supportive from all angles from your side. Thank you so much to the settlement team.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for your
Thank
kind
you.
words. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Mitch.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Ashit Kothari, you may ask a query.
Okay, so this is an extension to what Prashad Haftekar asked. Basically, he's my colleague. So the question is like this, that though the early paying securities are given in, we do not get a value
Sorry
credit
to
of the
interrupt
same
you, but your voice is
available to
not
us
clear.
at the client level for the client to be able to trade the next day. If the client trades, he is still using the fungible limits of the broker, which is putting additional pressure onto the broker in terms of getting the capital in.
Sir, we were unable to hear you. Can you please adjust your mic? Actually, your voice is not audible.
Or you can write your questions.
Sorry, I am on the road.
Hello.
Okay, so basically, the question is like this, that a given client, if he has sold and if he has done the early paying, which has been put in into the exchange or the ICCL, so to say, we still get the credit for the margins onto the position, but we do not get the value, the full value credit available to the client the next day morning for him to be able to trade.
You are saying basically you
Putting
can
additional pressure onto the broker's capital in terms of his fungible limits getting utilized.
So you basically your query is ki when the early paying is done by the client, so for next trade he should get the margin available with so that he can
Not the margin. Margin anyways you are reducing because you are not charging margin, right?
right.
If the early paying is done. But if the early paying is done and if the stock is blocked, effectively that stock is not going to go back to the client or to the broker again.
Yes, after the obligation matching, right?
Correct?
Right.
So
Now,
we got your question. So just to bring to your notice, we have already taken concurrence of this issue at our end. In ISF Brokers Forum, this issue has been discussed, deliberated, and I think it is being shared with the regulator also. So overall, we don't see any, kind of a blocker at our end. There would be some system changes at the CC side, which we are willing to do it. But this has already, this proposal has been given attention from our end. and we have taken cognizance of this issue. So any update
Okay,
on this, we will let you know, sir.
thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Aniket Shinde ji, you may ask a query.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. I'm Prabhas here. Actually, my query is that we are receiving the daily basis the script file, but as on which date the any split corporate action, any type of corporate action held na, in that case the script code is with the dummy code found in the script file, and that issue pardon that na onwards that day in future na it continues. That will be the issue in our in backend for importing when importing the same script code na dummy script code is updating in our back office in case of corporate action.
corporate action dummy code के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं आप.
So which file are you referring? Which file name?
सर आप कौन सा फाइल रेफर कर रहे हो?
File name, can you please tell me the file name?
BSc under BSc script file na there क्या कहते हैं EQ mapping CC file.
EQ. सर हाँ आप ना आपका नंबर BBF टीम के पास शेयर कीजिए. हम ना वो मास्टर में आपका वो रेलेवेंट कौन सा डेट पे आपको ऐसा ये हुआ कौन सा कॉर्पोरेट एक्शन दिन था वो हम लोग यूज केस चेक करके देन विल एड्रेस योर क्वेरी सर.
हाँ इनमें भी मतलब कि मेरा ये ऐसा है मैडम सजेशन कि वो पार्टिकुलर डेट पे अगर आप डमी स्क्रिप्ट कोड रखते हो तो दैट इज ओके, बट ऑनवर्ड्स दैट डे तो वो ओरिजिनल कोड में हो जाना चाहिए ना स्प्लिट के बाद. तो वो कंटिन्यू रहता है, तो उसकी वजह से क्या होता है कि जब हम फाइल इंपोर्ट करते हैं बैक ऑफिस में सिस्टम में ना, तो ये इशू बहुत दिनों से हम फेस कर रहे थे. तो हमने कई बार ये रखा भी, लेकिन वो चीज अभी तक नहीं हुआ था रिजॉल्व, इसलिए मैंने ये क्वेश्चन.
So, good you highlighted. We will check this case and we'll tell you. So, you're from which company, sir?
Bajaj Broking,
Okay.
member ID 6706.
Okay, fine.
All
We
right.
will get in touch with you.
Okay, Prabhas ji.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Lalit Kumar, you may ask a query, please.
Yeah, hi. This is more of an observation. I wanted to confirm from Ashish sir. So, of course, in one of your slides, we got to see it was mentioned that the VAR or the 20% needs to be blocked by the broker for the positions which are being entered by the clients. So, what I've observed is whenever a client enters into a position which has a VAR higher than 20, let's say 50. So, in that case, in the RTRMS portal, I can see that the margin required by that margin to be blocked for that position for that client is shown 50%. But in the members portal, when we get that snapshot in the SHORTCOL, the short call file, we can see that in that the margin required, the peak margin or the margin is being calculated basis 20% only. So in that case, I want to ask, like, the obligation for that trade is 20% or is it VAR? Because on RTRMS it shows as VAR and in the file it shows as 20%.
End of the day, whatever margin requirement is there will be as per the VAR or be 20%, whichever is higher. But during the time of trade, before doing any trade, 20% minimum margin should be collected from the client, so that during the snapshot your margin will not reported short.
Sir, in terms of collection, it can be 20%, but in terms of CC risk management purview, exact VAR what is there, that is going to
Whichever
be
is higher,
blocked.
20% and where whichever is higher.
Right. Because I've seen in cases where only 20% of the fund was allocated. In that case, when we got the short call file, there was no penalty reported into that. So hence I had this question, and I want to continue my earlier question with Vijita madam. You mentioned that now the EPN takes 1 to 2 minutes instead of the earlier 15 to 20 minutes. So my question is, during that period, during that 1 to 2 minute, if snapshot has been taken and we are shown as under allocated, in that case, if a penalty is being charged, is that reversible? So let's say a user did a holding cell and we did the API, but it took a minute for the API to get reflected. And during that time, there was a snapshot taken. In
Sir,
that time, if we get a merge,
yeah, Lalit, I think there is a reason code, where informed to provide circulars that the collateral with CC, but because of the time gap, of reflection or in transit information, you can display that reason code.
okay, so basically that is
I
reversible.
think 6 reason code.
You can refer the
06.
circular, na?
Okay.
Okay.
You can
Yeah,
refer
cool.
the
And
circular accordingly.
right, I have one suggestion, final suggestion. The the collateral margin API that we have. So what happens is API is let's say at every 10 minutes we can hit a API and we can ask the clearing member the clearing corp of what is the API right now, what is the margin of that user right now or margin across the users right now. Is there a way where you can create a WebSocket kind of system where any change into into margins is directly reflected and sent to the brokers so that we can keep a real-time track instead of keep hitting the API and keep asking you what is the margin right now? So can you implement a WebSocket here?
Yeah, I think we can explore this.
Okay,
I update you. Okay.
cool. Thank you very much.
Mr. Suraj, you may ask your query.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
सर वन क्वेरी इज कि जो एक्सचेंज मार्जिन जो बेचता है उसमें खाली पीक मार्जिन है. ओके, एंड इफ आई रिपोर्ट इट टू एक्सचेंज देन इन रिवर्स in that response file it is the star mark is there. So what is the reason of that star mark?
Sir, star mark is basically invalid. मतलब अगर stipulated amount के against आप
Some
कुछ
sorry to interrupt, but we are pro.
हाँ
तो सर आप यूसीसी कोड में क्या डाल रहे हो आप?
own
ओन ही डालते हो ना आप? तो
yes,
वो
own means member code.
मैं नहीं एग्जैक्ट ओन डाल रहे हो आप कि यूसीसी
नहीं
कोड
exact own नहीं. Actually our code is 0327.
हाँ हाँ
So we are putting that.
नो सो आपको जो मार्जिन फाइल ईओडी मार्जिन फाइल में जो आ रहा है ना वही सेम टू सेम आपको डालना है फाइल में, तो ही आपको रिस्पॉन्स में करेक्ट रिस्पॉन्स आएगा, तो आपको स्टार मार्क नहीं आएगा वहां पे.
नहीं सर, क्योंकि अभी तक हम लोग ऐसे ही कर रहे हैं 3207
हाँ, तो
मतलब जो
आपको
कोड है.
हर रिस्पॉन्स फाइल में आपको स्टार मार्क आता रहेगा.
नहीं
हाउएवर
नहीं 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 सर, अभी ये केस में क्या हुआ कि खाली पीक मार्जिन था. अभी इसके पहले जो करते थे उसमें वार प्लस सीएलएम प्लस पीक मार्जिन वो होता था. ठीक है, अभी लास्ट रिसेंट केस में शायद से फ्राइडे वाला केस है. तो फ्राइडे वाले केस में खाली पीक मार्जिन ही था, बाकी कुछ नहीं था, वार नहीं था, ईएलएम नहीं था, अर्ली पे वगैरह सब हो गया था.
ओके, आप
तो वो
आपका
फाइल मैंने
मेंबर कोड बता दीजिए ना.
3207.
3207. ओके, मैं आपको चेक करके पर्सनली आपको मैं 1-to-1 कॉल करके हम डिस्कस कर लेंगे.
ओके ठीक है सर.
क्या
Okay, so we have a last query from Mr. Akshay. Akshay ji, you may now unmute yourself and ask a question.
Yeah, hi. Good evening, all guys. I am Akshay from Nuama. Actually, we guys having a Repledge API, correct? But most of the time, we observe that the Repledge benefit is not got immediately post we guys are doing Repledge.
So what is the TAT you have been facing? And is it a recent case or
See, yeah, we are having multiple cases and reported also to ICCL and CDSL. For CDSL customers, we got issue, and in the early morning, now we guys are uploading Repledge manually, and I think BMC collateral is started on morning 7, correct?
correct?
Right.
But normally till 7:15 to 7:20 we got a repledge benefit in our client security report, means SecPledge report. But sometimes we got benefit around 8 to 8:30. So result of which our BOD allocations got impacted.
Okay, so this actually shouldn't be the case. We will have to look it into because when we are talking about this latency dashboard, we will have to check if from depository what time we have got the request. So if you could highlight me the exact time instance when you had created that particular request at the depository end, and then from then the travel time we need to check that from CDSL what time we got, and then from our end how much time we took. So this case analysis we would have to we would need to do this case analysis. So if you can share us the details on email, that would be great for us to troubleshoot
Yeah,
this.
I already multiple times I already shared it to you, and
Share it
but
to which email ID?
and collateral.
Can you just forward it to my email or mark it to ICCL projects, iccl.projects at iccilindia.com.
Okay, fine. I'll share.
Yeah.
And one more, actually, I want a help regarding that replace API parameters. Actually, I want replace API parameters and require your help uh, to discuss how it's work from broker side.
But
Actually,
that
currently,
API is not any which ways affecting you because that API we are having with the depository. It is the API built between CC and depository, not at the
only.
members.
So I think broker members and CC also is API is there, na, for replace
Member
API.
is having with the depository, not with the CC.
Okay, correct.
Okay. Yeah, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Rahulji, I think we don't have any further questions.
Oh, all right.
So,
Okay. So,
yeah, if there is any concluding remarks from your side, or otherwise we can call it a.
sure. So, lastly, I would like to say is, this last year we have conducted 5 webinars for our members, covering all important topics relevant to our members. And in the upcoming year, we do have plans to organize many more such webinars. And lastly, I would thank everyone for joining this call, for your participation and engagement. That's it from my side.
Yeah, thank
Further.
you everyone for being with us. It was a good interaction and we open for such feedback. Let's not wait for the webinar to give feedback. You can anytime get in touch with us. Thank you very much. Thank you for your cooperation.
Further, I would like to say if any such webinar you would like to have with us, so you can give us the topic as well so that we can consider those topics and we can give you.
Okay, I think we have 2 more questions. If we could, can we take it now?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
all right, all right. Kuresh, I think we have 2 questions.
Yeah. So, Ms. Kochi, you may ask a question.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, actually, I have a query that if the client's clear balance is 0 and he has a sale amount is around 3 lakh rupees, and we have successfully done early paying of 1,40,000, and the remaining amount value we weren't able to do early paying. Is there will be any penalty charged in a short allocation for the amount which we were not able to do early paying?
Basically,
So the sale amount is 3 lakh, and we have done early paying amounted around 1,40,000. So the remaining amount we weren't able to do early paying because of some reasons. So there will be any penalty charged in a short allocation?
yes, definitely. Because what you have done is during the snapshot definitely will not cover because you have done the minimum requirement of that failed trade you have mentioned here that you have fulfilled. But because we will consider the peak margin plus the EOD margin, so at the end of the day, allocation should be done for that trade you have been executed, or whatever the value it would be.
Okay. So around 1,60,000, we have done early paying of 1,40,000. So we didn't get the benefit of that early paying amount. Like from 3 lakhs rupees, 1,40,000 early paying is done. So like 20% requirement will be only a 31,000 on the amount on which the early paying is not done. And in upfront margin, we have reported like we have done early paying of around 1,40,000. So in upfront margin, we didn't get any penalty. But in short allocation reporting, like during that snapshot, we have received the penalty on which the early payment is not done. So I didn't get the like understanding that in upfront margin we didn't have received any penalty, but in short allocation we have received penalty on it. Hello.
See, short allocation, in that the benefit what you have got, that only you have reported, right?
Yes, in upfront matching reporting, we have received the benefit of early paying, and we have also reported the same. Like our ledger balance was 0 and clear balance was also 0, but we have received the benefit of 1,40,000. So we have reported that in upfront margin reporting. But in short allocation reporting, there will be a panel. There was a penalty of 31,000, which was 20% of the amount on which the early payment is not done.
What's the member code?
May I know you're from which company?
NG India Invest. Our member code is 3291.
Okay.
When you are reporting in margin reporting, what is the amount that has been reported from your end?
1,40,000.
20%.
1,40,000.
No, they have reported full.
How much early
That
payment?
is 20% of the amount that is to be reported in margin reporting as well.
Yes, we have reported the early paying amount, like which is around 1,40,000.
That is what you have reported full amount of early paying amount.
Yes, and also sale. Actually, the sale amount is 3 lakh something. So we have reported that 3 lakh something amount because we are reporting early upfront margin reporting on the T+1 basis. So the sale proceeds is also like considered in that amount because it will be.
That is what for 3 lakh rupees, 60,000 will be a margin amount, correct?
Yes, around 20%.
And your margin report in margin reporting, you are reported as collected 3 lakh rupees or 1,45,000 rupees, correct?
Hello, sorry.
In margin reporting, against that
Yes.
60,000 rupees, you are reported 1,50,000 rupees or 1,40,000 rupees collected from your end.
We
Correct?
have reported 3 lakh rupees because our total sale proceeds is 3 lakh something. I think 3 lakh 8,000. We have reported that because on T day we have early paying around 1,40,000, and the remaining was on the T+1 day basis. The sale proceeds can be reported. So we have reported the full amount of 3 lakh 8,000 in upfront margin reporting.
Kushi ma'am, we'll get back to you separately, and we'll try to understand your query and resolve it. We'll take it separately, ma'am.
Because if you have done early paying, then any which ways we are not levying you any margin. No,
He has done early paying only half.
Half early paying.
Yes.
If you have done
So
half
only the one script, we weren't
the
able to do
balance,
early payment
that
of
is
only one.
marginable, you will have to, that margin though will be levied only, na? You will get benefit to the extent of quantity what you have done towards your value.
Ma'am, we'll check this.
Check the script also, na? We have to check the scripts also. What the
It
scripts
is
we have told.
just in the chat box you can just share
I
your.
think they're not allowed to.
Okay, we will take the date.
So we'll connect back. We'll connect with you, ma'am, and we'll take this separately.
Okay.
So,
Thank
thank
you.
you, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah. Any further queries?
No further queries are there as of now. So
Okay.
I think we can conclude.
Sure. I think we can close the session. Once again, thank you everyone for participating. We'll come up with more such sessions. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much
Thank you
for
so much,
participating. Thank you.
Rahulji and everyone. We look forward to conduct such kind of sessions with you. And on behalf of BBF, we truly appreciate your time and all the information given to the members. So thank you so much. Let's meet in another webinar.
Thank you.